only YouTube channel that doesn't ask you to fucking smash the subscribe button.
Hit the bell.
Doesn't ask you anything. And he doesn't even care about you. It's like a cat.
Welcome to Four Brewers. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I'm joined by
Jason Harris.
And Greg Nagle, ready to butt chug. Fourth show.
He's not joking either. And we're here with Chris Wolowski from Trustworthy Brewing Company once again.
All right.
For fourth show.
Excited to be here.
And
did you say sad to be here?
No, excited.
Oh,
excited
I sad to be here.
Why would you say that?
I don't know.
I'm legally bound to be here.
Yeah.
That's Betty.
Bye, Betty.
Betty the Brew
AKA
Dog. That's Matt Barker.
Matt Barker.
So we've had a big session today, and we're
feeling it.
Rounding it off with
Even more big beers.
barley wine.
a barley wine from Trustworthy that actually won a bronze medal at JBF.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of a bronze color.
This is Bear Temper.
It's Bear Temper barley wine, 12%. Yeah, just boat loaded with all sorts of malts. Base of All Hail Maris Otter. So Maris Otter, I think it's Chris Maris Otter.
All hail Maris.
All Hail Maris. Some crystal, some light crystal, medium crystal, dark crystal. A little bit of chocolate malt.
crystal meth.
Actually, a pinch of chocolate malt, like an eighth of a bag. And it's loaded with a lot of kind of like sea hop characters, some Summit, some Crystal, some Cascade. And
So is
it's
this
dry
like
hopped. So
more
when
of a traditional English style or like
no, it's traditional American style.
American? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my inspiration, I love Sierra Nevada Bigfoot.
Okay.
You know, when it's fresh, it's like, is this a double IPA, like old double IPA,
Yeah,
or is
for
it,
sure.
a barley wine? And then after like a year, you're like, oh, so nutty and kind of like still some good bitterness. And I just wanted a amped up version of that. And so I've been brewing the style, for, like 10 years now. I started doing it as a home brewer, and I always seem to have it locked down. It's done really well in competition for me as a home brewer. And then, finally had my own brewery and decided to do the barley wine. We did it pretty early. I think like 3 or 4 months into us being open, I'm like, got to do the barley wine. And it's holds up really well.
Cool.
So it's a lot of crystal malts. And I try to actually focus on hop varieties that have a lot of like beta acids. That's been kind of a philosophy for me. Because beta acids don't deteriorate over time like alpha acids.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's this random book on like Amazon. It's like aging beer, and has these cool little profiles about like how things fall off and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And,
half-life or attenuation of...
yeah, and like and all the flavors and
Oxidation.
stuff. And they make a mention about like, oh, how beta acids just kind of hang out over time. So this beer is coming up on a year old, and it still has, it's a good caramel character, a good kind of bitterness, and some hoppiness to it. And
So
very bright.
You just
Yeah.
choose hops that are specifically higher in beta acid than alpha, or how does that work?
that have a higher
lower?
relative beta acid. Beta acids I don't think will ever be higher than like the alpha acid, but some hops have like less than 1%, and then some have like 1, 2, or like 3%.
Okay.
It's the CBD of hops.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great analogy.
I didn't know that. Like you always hear alpha acid, and you ever think of the beta acid, like it's like, and you think of all the data you can get from like maltsters and from hop growers about
Constantly
their
just
ingredients,
beans.
Yeah.
and it's just like my eyes gloss over and like alpha 12.
Alpha.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Constantly
So-
being cucked by the alpha.
pretty much, except for in bear temper. So yeah,
Nose on this, it smells like it's. I don't get a whole. Maybe it's just like the glass. I don't get a lot of hop character on it. It's more of like a caramely.
yeah.
Like,
The hops are definitely, the aroma's falling off.
There's a pininess to the nose that
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
catching. It's
It's
like
subtle.
caramel and pine. I mean, it smells like what we would have called a Northwest IPA 10 years ago before they got
true.
before they got good at IPA up there.
It's definitely got some forest on the nose, though. It's
Yeah.
kind of earthy, sort of
Yeah.
like foresty. It's definitely, the earthy character really stands out on the nose for me, at least.
There's definitely a bright or a big hop profile to this beer. I think even compared to a Bigfoot, it feels a little hoppier.
Yeah, that bitterness lingers too.
Which-
You
Yeah.
feel
Nice.
it on the mouth, yeah.
Which is always, in my mind, a good thing. Just more hops. More MOAR hops.
Moar.
More.
Yeah, I mean,
more-
we haven't had this beer on tap at the brewery for like 6 months, and so when you guys brought it up, I was like, "Sure, we'll see how it's doing." And I tasted the keg, and I'm like, "Oh, still tastes
It's a
good,
pretty
man.
safe bet with barley wine.
How many
Yeah.
hours did you boil it?
90 minutes.
90 minutes? Okay.
Yeah,
Some people are like, I boiled it for like 2 days.
yeah. I don't have the time for that. I don't get paid enough money to sit at a kettle for
Yeah.
18 hours.
Still boiling.
I love my job, but I like going home. And,
You can't leave it overnight.
No,
Seems irresponsible.
And do
I
you,
don't know.
what's the ABV?
12%, 12.5%. Yeah.
Do you do a second beer after? Party guy?
No, that's more labor and
More
man
labor.
hours.
Chris is lazy.
Yeah.
Let's call him lazy. He's just
Work smarter, not harder.
there to
man.
do his job and go home. You know?
Get out of
So
You work to live, not live to work.
Exactly.
yeah, and I had the assistant brewer I had at the time. Like we did a double mash for this beer, so it was already pretty labor intensive. So we
Okay.
filled up the mash tun and basically just pulled
the
first
brim?
runnings. Yeah, pulled first runnings, and then grained out, mashed it again, and then topped off the kettle essentially with first runnings. So we already had to split the brew
all
day.
first runnings?
Yeah,
Damn,
pretty much.
son.
Yeah. So
That's how you do it.
My farmer was stoked because he was like, "Dude, these
The
cows are going to
sweetest.
be so happy."
You're going to be
Because
drunk.
there's just so
Yeah.
much residual.
Oh my God,
sugar
I heard
yeah.
that cows got drunk.
Oh yeah, no, and I think they totally do.
They're like, oh, malt.
And like I would do a second running spear, but like I have nowhere to put it either. Like I can't put it in my hot liquor tank. I don't have a second kettle. I don't have like another vessel to put
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna. I don't have any.
should have a
put it into kegs. I don't know.
Four
So-
Bovines podcast where the cows are just like,
You're like, how would you even know if a cow is drunk? They chew weird.
I think
They
they
fall
fall
over.
over.
Do
it's
they?
like, "Gutung."
So one of the farmers I worked with,
I'm assuming.
he said when he would start driving to the farm, and he had the grain. You drive through the farm. The cows, he's like, they know I had
They just
grain.
run after the truck.
Yeah, they were like running after the truck, and they're like, "Yeah, let me get in on that." And I started working with this new farmer, and he has this. He's like, "I have this 1,000-pound steer. Whenever I put the buckets of grain out, he's like, he fucks up the goats. If the goats try to get near the grain, like he just charges them and pins them against the wall, and like, don't
grain.
touch my grain."
Goats are like,
Yeah,
No!
whatever they do.
Ah!
You can hear all of these sound effects on Greg's butt-chugging Battlefield Twitch. You're like, I'm going to try a little barley wine in the pipes now. And
so we were super honored to get the bronze medal at GABF.
It's well deserved.
Did you guys
So-
make it bronze so you'd win a bronze? Like, is that a thing you do?
Yep.
Is that the
That's the medal I wanted.
Negalology?
So
Yeah, it sucks
yes.
you weren't there to get it.
I know it's
been
it's
cool.
one of those like bucket list things, you know, like go on stage, shake Charlie Papazian's hand, and
You'll get one next year.
Now, do you have another batch in the tank?
probably not. I'm gonna go and I'm not gonna get one, and then next year I'm gonna not go to GABF, and then I'll get a medal. I'll be like, fuck it, never going to GABF ever again, because if I go, don't win a medal.
Yeah, but it's
So-
it's still really cool
Break the
that
curse.
especially for a beer like a barley wine.
Yeah.
where, I mean, not that it's a really
It's a
highly
respect-worthy beer.
popular style that many
Or like an
breweries enter.
impacted. It's not the lowest entered category,
But it's a style of beer that is not difficult, or I'm sorry, is not easy to make.
Yeah.
like it takes some know-how, and you got to know what you're doing to make a good barley wine.
Yeah.
I tried to make one, and I ended up doing a cold crash on it and sucked my blow-off water back into the.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's also pretty drinkable for 12.5%. Like it's
Yeah.
not
Oh, totally.
It is. I wanted to finish it, but I'm like,
Yeah, I
I
don't
need
wanna-
to.
But fourth show driving.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to
exactly.
drive at some point. I was
So, yeah.
like, should I just finish? No.
No.
So there you go.
Overall,
Very-
everything
very
from
tender.
Trustworthy that you brought, I mean, is solid. And I mean, of course, you think we'd say that because you're the guest in the studio and whatnot, but truly, like, really, really good beers. Like,
Oh, thank you.
Blown away. Like, really good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Stoked you're brewing again.
Yeah,
And not,
I guess a quick note on the Trustworthy IPA. When we got all the paperwork from JBF for Bear Temper, they give you this extra piece of paper like, please don't use this in any marketing material. So I don't know if this podcast
This
counts
is marketing,
but they're like essentially got honorable mention for the Trustworthy IPA.
Oh, okay.
I got like fourth
That's cool.
place.
Well, you can talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. I think they just don't want you printing it on a bottle.
Yeah.
Honorably mentioned at GABF.
Yeah, because they don't really have it. So I was like, All right, we're on the right path here.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
So,
and for an IPA to get an honorable mention,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
and you guys are as new as you are. That's
We entered it in the American Strong Pale Ale category, but still, it's
Just-
like 150
okay.
entries. Yeah,
Just
it's a pretty-
unilaterally declare yourself as the winner of the blue ribbon, and then market your beer off of that for the next 150 years.
sold.
That's right.
Trustworthy IPA.
trustworthy.
Did you know
Anyway,
that's the
Blue
real
Ribbon.
story of Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was at the World's Fair, there was like a beer competition, but they basically would be like, your beer is either like distinguished or not. That was it, right?
Oh,
so it
gotcha.
would be like they would all judge your beer, and you would get like an award of distinction, or you were not a beer of distinction. But so like AB and or Budweiser and Pabst had this rivalry, and they bribed the judges to see who scored higher, or they're like, hey, who actually had the higher score though?
Interesting.
And then so Pabst is like, oh, we had the highest score. We won the blue ribbon. They're like, that's not how this works. We don't do places. It's not that kind of competition. And they're like, we won the blue ribbon. And to this fucking day, they just
Well, I'm really stoked you
man.
guys like the beers, and you have so many like good positive things to say about it. So
they're all really solid, man. Yeah.
We need to come and visit.
yeah, please do. I mean, you guys
Been to
got my
Burbank
info.
in forever.
Yeah, no one likes going to Burbank.
I actually do. I like
Oh.
that. I like that side of LA. I don't like going to the other side.
Gotcha.
I drove to Burbank 3 times a week from this house for 4 years at 5 in the afternoon to go to band practice. We practice off of Alameda in the 5.
Oh, that's right where the brewery's at.
And three days a week.
That's
like,
the
no joke.
That's the exit I get off of.
And we finish practice at 10:30 at night, and I drive home.
I don't envy you one bit.
Yeah, I loved playing in that band, though. It was fun. So, moving on. I think we're going to
What's
open a beer from American Cellar that you brought. These are all beers from your cellar.
Yes.
So, this is the Chris Show.
Yeah, the Chris Show.
It's a celebration.
Tell us about this first beer, because I've never seen this.
So Chase Healy, he was one of the co-founders of Prairie,
Right.
Left Prairie, and started American Solera. And they did this Zinfandel grape sour ale, and I had. I don't know, you guys know Aaron Champion? Mm-hmm. He was actually
hair in the
working.
biz.
He was working for me at the brewery as a bartender for a few months.
Ale LA?
Yeah, Cask Beer LA or Cask Ale.
Cask Ale LA.
Yeah. And he's like, dude, you got to try this beer from American Slayer. And I tried it, and I was like, whoa. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is so good.
Now, was American Solera an offshoot of Prairie, or just a completely different company?
It's a completely different company.
Okay.
I think I listened to an interview. I think Chase, I don't know, I guess I'm speaking for him, but from what I remember in the interview, he like sold his shares or whatever and started American Solera.
Yeah, because Prairie was acquired by some dude that owned like I don't know, what was it, a bar or something. He was a big fan of Prairie, and so
Oh,
he bought
interesting.
Prairie yes, I own this awesome brewery, and I think that's when Chase left. So
like, look at this
it
beer.
wasn't like a corporate buyout, but it was like they got bought out by somebody.
Like his beer pours bright fucking purple.
Wow, that is purple. Look at that. I
Zinfandel?
thought it would be white.
I mean, Zinfandel.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I guess the fun tie-in is they label it as a collab with a winery called Field Recordings. That's where they got all the must from, and it's a Paso winery that I've been before. I think it's the winery that's inside of Tin City Cider. You guys ever been there?
No.
It's a fun little cider place.
Oh, maybe I have.
And I think Chase has done a collab with Tin City Cider. And my really good friend that I've known forever, he's like the general manager of the place. So
This is still as well.
yeah.
Yum. Holy shit. I'm a huge fan of like beer and wine hybrids. I think there's a special place in my heart for them. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because California has this rich wine culture.
Man,
And I think a lot of the wine producers of the region also are huge beer fans.
Yeah.
And it's like they're buying the wine barrels. They're like, how about if we just collab and do
Yeah.
some sort of like thing? And there's something special about what hops do
Yeah.
to a wine grape.
To use a Fort Brewer's favorite word, the nose on this is jammy.
It's super jammy, right?
Jammy AF.
I mean, that's like Hallmark, Zinfandel is.
Yeah.
I'm not a
jammy.
wine guy, but this smells like wine.
Yeah,
Like,
oh yeah.
Totally.
This
It
is,
smells and tastes like wine.
It is just wine in a
The
glass.
tannin on the finish is
The
very
Four
remarkable.
Winos? Is that the next podcast?
The Four Winos.
Four Winos.
So, but it's
man.
like dry. You definitely get like some oak and a little bit of like sour beer.
The tannin
on
and-
it. Yeah, the
tannins
tannin
coat your-
structures.
This
Yeah.
is 10%.
Yeah,
this
it
is
doesn't
like
drink like-
drinking water.
Yeah.
There is no booze on this. This is tasty. It's not too sweet.
I had to
love
trade
this.
for this beer, and I actually traded for a Magnum of it too.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
A Magnum.
Yeah.
This is super good.
Yeah.
It is much more wine than beer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Like you could pour this and serve it as wine, and people would be like, "Yeah, it's good."
And there's like a little bit of effervescence to it. Like it's not completely still. And I don't know. This is probably like one of my favorite beers I've had this year.
I get no carbonation on this. It even in the glass, like the alcohol legs on it, like
Yeah,
it just
it coats like-
streaks down the glass.
Yeah. It's like cherries and like
It looks like wine. I'd like to know what this beer, like the base beer, actually is like on this, because, like I said, it just seems like it's just wine grapes.
yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, it says it's a barrel-aged sour ale. So that's all we know.
Yeah, I want to know how they make it because I want to make it myself so I can just drink it all the time.
And if like you made this like half the ABV and like spritzed it up with like a higher carbonation,
Oh, it'd be like a wine cooler.
oh god,
Is
so
there,
like
is there-
gangbusters.
are the laws different on beer and wine production?
What ways?
Is there some point where you're like not beer anymore and you're like,
Yeah, so if it's 49% beer, it's no longer beer.
Yeah.
It's whatever the other alcohol. So beer has to be 51% or greater.
And that's based
the
on
law.
and it's based on tax laws.
Well, it's based on the fermentable sugars. So where the alcohol kind of comes from. And then you have to be tricky with wine and other fermentables. So like say if I had this fermented out beer and this fermented out wine and I mixed the two together, illegal because you can't mix wine and beer together. But if you get the pressed
pre-fermentation.
juice and make it 49% of the fermentables, totally legal because you can't mix.
So if you can mix the sugars and then ferment it out in the end, as long as the ratio of the beer is higher, then you're okay.
Correct.
Fortification is illegal with beer.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. I can see the
So you ever notice like the newer brewery bottles? It says like contains alcohol really big.
yeah.
So that was like a newer thing that got put into law. Cause since it is like semi-fortified, you know, like, cause I think before that legally you couldn't do more than 0.5% alcohol from any sort of, like spirit pickup. But obviously there were some breweries getting more than the 0.5%. And so they did this new law where if you got more than 0.5%, if you put like contains alcohol, then that signified that some of that
Okay.
alcohol came from,
Other sources.
yeah,
I didn't
from
know
the
that.
spirit barrel. Yeah.
I thought it was just like someone at TTV was like cracking down saying, this looks too
Looks
artsy.
like-
you need to specify
Kids
that
are going to
this is
buy this
alcohol."
$20 bottle of booze.
That's just what I thought. And that makes total sense now where it's
Yeah.
like, yes, this literally contains alcohol that we didn't get from fermenting the sugars in the
It's goddamn
beer.
delicious, man.
Yes, I think there's an old interview with I think Todd Ashman, who's the brewer at 50/50, because they're one of the early breweries doing barrel aged beers in California, and he was talking about how they would have to unbung all the bourbon barrels and let them completely dry out before they filled them with beer.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, because they were getting too much alcohol spirit pickup from the barrels.
That sucks.
I know
So-
some brewers who do, pepper beers. I'm not going to name names because maybe ABC's listening, but where they'll take all their peppers and soak them in vodka and then dose the vodka in the kegs. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
have the one that's illegal.
Yeah, there's
the
some.
Trillium when they were getting raked over the coals the last
Oh,
couple
yeah.
weeks? One of the many
tequila
things
barrel.
was that their tequila
fortified.
beer just had tequila in it.
That's got to be expensive.
They
as
also
shit.
danced around. They did a denial on that too. They were like, no,
Prove
no, yeah, we don't do that sort of thing.
There's some breweries that like to refresh their barrels, and so they just put like bourbon in it, roll it
reset.
around, and then fill it up with beer.
That's not legal, but
Catch me. We don't do that at Trustworthy
it.
Brewing.
because we're trustworthy people.
Yeah,
Exactly. No, but seriously, I don't do that. That
They're
seems
Boy Scouts.
that's I don't know.
in these
I
challenging
don't think it
times-
adds anything.
In these
Just buy-
challenging
just
times,
buy new barrels.
brewers are doing all
Yeah.
sorts of wacky shit to their barrels. But here at Trustworthy,
Because it seems like
you can trust that we won't do any of that dumb shit.
to recoat a barrel, you got to have maybe two 1.75
Yeah.
bottles just to make a dent. In
I'm like, really? You're just putting one 500 ml barrel and that's refreshing your barrel?
no, it's not doing anything. And the cost of
But if
two
I-
1.75 things is maybe around the cost of a new barrel. Like,
Yeah, well, it depends
Right.
what whiskey you get.
right, that's
I guess,
true.
but-
I'm just buying Prestige brand from Ralph's. The plastic,
Old Crow.
and the plastic handle.
Oh,
I really don't wanna dump
I
this
really
beer,
don't
but-
want to dump this.
I'm gonna drink it.
Drink the dumper.
Oh, I'm glad you guys like it. I was a little nervous.
It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, especially
After
after,
all
all
the-
those fucking stouts.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So
So
I mean, it kind of makes me want to get more into wine because I rarely drink wine, but I don't dislike wine, and so this, it's so wine-like. This is great.
When I deal with wine, I understand how other people feel with beer. Where they go to
Yeah.
like Total Wine and they're like, I don't know what the fuck is what. And I'm like, when I go to the wine section at Total Wine, I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? Like,
True. Yeah.
starting in January, I'm going to wine school. This pretty big one in Orange County.
oh.
So
Oh.
I will be able to speak wine.
Fancy Pants Greg,
I'm going to get my ESAT.
OC Wine Blog.
Greg's getting a fucking
I just
mon-
want to be. It's just weird where I write about booze and cocktails and beer, and it seems like why not just learn about wine too?
Why not?
Why not?
I'm gonna start buying for every occasion like those really shitty wine gifts for Greg.
Thanks, buddy.
It's just like little hand painted signs.
Sang Royale, baby.
That are like, it's wine 30 and whatever.
This is a 2009 Sang Royale.
Yeah, we're drinking Sang Royale from Cascade Brewing Company, 2009. This is also from Chris's cellar.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it smells like seawater.
There's definitely like some acetaldehyde. Or not acetaldehyde, ethyl acetate. On the nose, just like that.
Seawater, Greg. You fucking nailed it.
Seawater, man.
So
It smells like a.
to talk
Tide
about
pools.
beers that used to be big gets, like I remember
This beer
around
used to be a huge cat.
Cascade in general,
Yeah.
like their stuff. They were really, I think, an early trailblazer in sour beer. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
At that era, that was really one of the few sour breweries you could get, which shit is almost 10 years ago now.
Yep.
But
The last time you went up to Portland, did you ever pop in
I
and
did
check
go
them
to
out?
Cascade. It was fine.
I
They've
like-
toned down the sourness on all
Oh,
this
yeah.
shit.
I think it's a
good.
fun place to visit and
Yeah.
eat some food. And chill
Yeah, I
out.
remember I had like the pulled pork, and I was like, this is
I had
really
a
good.
salad.
They had a
Oh,
was
good
good.
for you.
They had
Salad
a
and a flight
brewery.
of all the creeks.
Oh, cool.
They had a brewery collab when I was there that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
With the brewery.
Oh, that's right. They did that whole. You could buy like 5 or 6 years of the Cascade Creek. That was a fun experiment.
Going up Cascade Creek without a paddle.
Yep.
I like
Or with
that
a
joke.
paddle, I guess.
Where's the
'cause
laugh track?
Because
for
tasters.
that one?
Sans Pajay.
That was the brewery one.
Yep.
It's good beer, by the way. Still have bottles
It means
of that.
without a paddle.
Oh, does it?
Sans
Yeah.
Pajay. Pajay is a paddle.
Sans Pagé. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sans.
Means
I remember this
without a
beer being a
paddle.
lot better.
Like sans serif without serifs. Yeah, this
That was
smells
the
like
creek joke.
caramely ocean water.
Right?
It's
It tastes like ocean. Like if you're.
I'm afraid to taste it, to be quite
Smells like
honest.
fruit flies. that's what I get. Like when a fruit fly lands in your glass, and you're like, I'm like, oh,
This
how's
does not
that
smell
that like
good.
ethyl? Yeah. Sorry, guys.
This
Dude, this is
honestly, this
the
kind
flavor's
of-
good.
It's
It's
like
not super sour.
It's like a poor man's consecration.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I brought it.
Yeah,
John wanted consecration, but I drank all that at the wedding. So
yeah.
which is a much better use of consecration than
Yeah.
sharing it with us.
I don't know about that, but
No, it is. It's a festive occasion. You know, getting married. That's cool.
although I do
you bust
hate
out your
opening
shit.
something really fancy, and then people are like, "What's this beer? Oh, neat!" And they're like, "Okay, cool."
yeah, there was some people like that.
Yeah.
but-
Dude, every party I go to now, I bring Black Tuesday, Grey Monday, Mocha Wednesday, or whatever, and
That's a
just
good
pour it to
idea.
randos.
I
And they're
did-
like, "Oh wow, this is really good."
Oh, I remember giving my sister Black Tuesday, and then she's just like, "What is this? Is that beer? What is this?" It was pretty awesome.
Well, if you give it to people who drink whiskey, like at least there's that like bond.
This tastes like burlap sack was dipped in beer. Sour beer. Like it's tart and like massively papery and really, really it's very dry. Like it's what's the word I'm looking for? Astringent.
I'm
Okay.
getting honestly.
This has
I'm
not aged well.
I'm not
Seawater.
hating it as much as any of you guys. Like I'm thinking it's tasting okay.
It just tastes like seawater to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like Tide Pool.
If I went somewhere and someone popped this for me, I'd be like, "This is cool. It's a 10-year-old sour beer." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're expecting.
I think it's drinkable though.
Yeah,
It's
Like,
not
I drink a whole
super oxidized.
Yeah.
It's got like a good like kind of.
You don't think this is super oxidized?
I'm not getting a lot of oxidation out
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
not.
I'm not getting oxidation.
Ah.
Yet. Let me smell.
There's a little bit, but it's not like some beers where I've had where it's straight cardboard.
No.
Honestly, I'm getting like kind of like a
There's some like sherry notes to it.
Sherry notes. That's a really good call.
Yeah.
I don't
Sherry's
think, I don't think
delicious.
this beer is
Are we
bad at
drinking
all.
the same beer? Like, I don't get any of. Like, I get
Let me-
tart
let me try
paper.
Oh.
It's so bad.
I don't get paper at all.
Maybe like some port wine sort of.
Like
thing.
if I had some ceviche or something like that, it would probably go really well with this beer.
You guys are fucking high.
Man,
That's pretty good, dude.
Maybe I'm high.
Oh.
I don't smoke pop. Just high off of life.
off butt chugging.
Off butt jug. I have a bottle sticking out, hanging out of my ass right now. Just dangling it. Jingle jangle.
Greg butt chugged the Chihuahua before he came in.
A Chihuahua Cerveza.
Yeah,
Oh, great. Not the dog.
All right, next beer.
yeah, like the Chihuahua brand beer. It just seems like a beer you
that's
would.
what's fun about beer is it's pretty.
Everybody.
And like what a
perceives
great time too. Like we can drink a 10-year-old like hype machine, and like you're like, all right, and see where beer's at now.
I think it's definitely on like it's if you have bottles like good luck or just
They've pretty much.
it's
would
not
probably
it's not going to get any better. I don't think.
I would finish that if I had it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not horrible.
Cascade pretty much disappeared
It's funky
from
as
distro
shit.
down here. I've noticed too.
Yeah.
I think it's funky in an acceptable way.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's really hard to
All
say.
right. Well,
I'll drink John's, except for I'm not.
We have other beers to drink.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Not
still
offended by
cards.
so next up is a beer that when I got into craft beer with New Beer Thursday, this was one of the first beers that I.
That he-
oh.
We have Mrs. Claus just walked in the room.
She's like Homer going at the bush.
Exactly. That was awesome.
When I first got into craft beer with New Beer Thursday, this was one of the first beers that I saw that was being released, like not released online for purchase, but like they were saying this beer is coming out and you should, look out for it. And I was totally stoked for it because it was Dogfish Head in Sierra Nevada.
Oh, yeah, it was like-
two heavy hitter breweries. And I was a huge Dogfish fan. I'm still a good.
That's like
Big Dogfish Head.
Biggie Smalls and like
And it's like
Ice
in
Cube
the-
doing a collab song.
It's like the beginning of the whole like collab culture too. Like that's like
Really?
collabs are like
Yeah.
starting to become a thing, and it's like, whoa, these two awesome regional breweries are doing a collab. Like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
what year
that-
was this?
And they never are.
Does it say a
They
year?
never are good.
Collabs?
No, none of the the big ones. When the big breweries do the collabs, it's just like, well, we don't want to step on each other's toes of our respective things we're good at, so let's do something neither of us are good at, and it'll be fucking terrible.
Well, the thing about the collab is like it's them like maybe going out to dinner and they're talking about making a beer, and then they're like, okay, here's what we agree on, and then they hand the piece of paper to the guy who's actually making the beer, and then they maybe go hang out at their house for a few hours, maybe play some tennis, maybe go on a hike.
I mean, I've done collabs like every which way.
I'm talking about
oh, this
Ken
one.
Grossman and,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
fucking Calagione are not
Yeah.
brewing the beer.
Yeah, like here's
Well,
the
the
recipe.
collaboration is
He'd
like
probably fuck it up somewhere.
the recipe construction and
Yeah.
this is what we have access to.
What year
And,
was this? Do you anybody know?
I would think 2009
Okay,
or 10. I'm trying to look on Untapped and they don't have a date on it.
gotcha.
Yeah,
And
there's
then
no
a
date
date-
on the
there's a date
bottle.
code. It's,
2000 wow. They have
I mean, there's a code.
2009, 2010, 2011. That's not right.
Oh, that's fun. They have like a family connection. That's cute. I'm reading the description on it, and so it is made with maple syrup grown on the Calagione family farm in Massachusetts.
I love maple syrup farms.
And estate barley grown on the Grossman farm at the brewery in Chico, California.
So there's like a couple kernels from the family farm.
And if
in
you
the
ever
whole batch.
if you ever get a chance to look up a YouTube video of a maple syrup farm, do it because it's one of the most satisfying videos to watch where the dude's like tapping into trees and he's creating like
Yeah,
all of
hoses.
all the hoses that go to a central repository where they like boil it down. It's so
you
fucking
really
rad.
can just put a faucet on a tree, right? That's
Yeah.
not just cartoon shit. Because it seems like some cartoon
That's
shit.
the-
No, that's what they
tap
do.
it
It's
in,
like
yeah.
they drill a hole and they jam
They
in a
tap it,
faucet, and
and
then
then there's a hose that
the
goes.
hoses
It
connect
just
to
seems
it.
fake. It seems like
weird.
it seems like that's not how trees work.
From maple trees.
But like, no, I understand. But it's just like, like in my head, you're like, of course they have to like take the tree and like process it somehow, and they get the fucking sap out. And it's like, no, they just fucking jam a thing in there, and it just comes right out. It's like,
It's like literally tapping a tree.
yeah.
So Trader Joe's for a while had maple water. It was like right after the coconut water kick, they had a maple water. It was just tasted like really, 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 really watered down maple syrup.
Like
I
you have
liked
a,
it.
Like
That's
you have a
good.
real
That sounds
shitty
awesome.
IHOP near your house. They're just
Yeah.
like, just fucking put water in it. We got to make the syrup last another week.
And then I tried to make maple syrup out of it, and I boiled it for like 6 hours, and I got like a tablespoon of maple syrup for like a 16 ounce
Oh,
chunk
God.
of it. I'm like, that was a terrible idea.
Apparently, Life and Limb is coming back.
Oh shit!
This is from My Beer Buzz, which apologies for referencing My Beer Buzz.
My beer buzz.
But they've got
Don't ever go to My Beer Buzz.
Don't ever go to my beer.
they've
butt
got
shop.
a picture of a keg label, and it says Sierra Nevada Brewing, Chico, California, Mills River, North Carolina. So, and it was posted on December 17th, 2018. So I guess this beer's coming back.
Wales, bro.
We should have waited.
They got the 4B.
Yeah, I don't have any more bottles. Sorry, John.
I got plenty, so
Oh,
we're
okay.
good to go.
So what do we think?
Oh yeah, we should drink it.
I am excited about this. It smells quite nice.
Yeah, it's
and
not
it
bad.
drinks quite well.
This one is a little oxidized.
yeah,
but
I
not-
get a
not
little
too
bit
bad.
of-
I get the oxidation, definitely.
But it's
not
not being
horrible.
a
It's not a-
10-year-old beer. Like,
It's not an old phone book sitting in a gutter. Like
No.
it's got some good flavors to it. The
it smells like
sweetness is
it
popping.
smells like an aged beer.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a properly aged beer. Nice job.
That's
of
pretty
aging
good.
it.
The
Wow.
alcohol is really hidden. This is
Yeah, what is
10%.
it?
Apparently,
That still tastes great.
yeah,
yeah, it's got like
Oh wow.
it doesn't hang heavy on the palate. It's actually like I would have guessed it was like 6.5 or 7.
it kind of has like
drinkable.
that Sierra Nevada like profile to it too, like
Yeah.
that bitterness and like that like house
It's-
flavor.
It feels
It's
more
good.
like a really big brown ale versus like a big imperial stout. You know,
Right.
it's not super bitter.
Wow. Reminds me a lot of Tootsie Roll.
Yeah,
They call
yeah.
it a strong ale on Untapped, which does make sense.
Remember, there was a period where they just called everything a strong ale because they're like, I know the alcohol's
There's
high.
no
we don't know
category
what
for it
the fuck
yet.
else it is. Yeah,
It's not imperial stout and it's not barley wine. So.
I don't.
Yeah.
I would not. I don't think this tastes like a stout. I could see this
No.
being a strong ale.
Yeah.
And you're right about the whole Sierra Nevada house character on this. Like, you can taste that in this beer. I get the same thing from the brewery.
Yeah,
The brewery has this. Even when you smell the brewery, you smell their bottles. Their bottles still smell like it's
The outside of the bottle?
Yeah.
Like you're like
Yes. Absolutely. They smell like, and the brewery has this unique smell that
Jason, go get like 4 random bottles out of the closet.
And let's blindfold
Let's
them.
blindfold them. See if we can smell test which one is the brewery.
All right, shut up.
see if you can smell test which one Greg butt.
I'm just saying.
The joke was I was just gonna stick my ass up to your face more, but that would have been funny.
I'm just
or
saying.
show last show.
The brewery the brewery that I think of locally that comes to mind is the brewery that has this house character with everything, especially their yeast.
Oh, yeah.
and
Definitely, highly agree.
This
Yeah.
what you said about this having that Sierra Nevada house character on the yeast. This tastes like a Sierra Nevada beer. This held up amazingly well. Like
Yeah.
I'm so glad I still have bottles of this.
Other
This is
cool
great.
shit that they did with this beer. It's bottle conditioned with a blend of both house yeasts from each brewery,
Oh, that's cool.
and then it is naturally carbonated with birch syrup from Alaska.
Cool. Why not?
down.
That's
Just-
the dogfish head tip right there.
That's fucking dope. This beer is delicious, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I'm
got
stoked.
a guy that'll sell me 1,000 pounds of birch syrup for real cheap, and it'll sound real cool on a label. Ken, I don't do a Ken Grossman impersonation. I don't know.
I don't know.
How
I think
does
he
talk?
just talks like a normal person.
We're California people, so we're like, yeah, he talks like us. He's
He's
normal.
like, I'm Ken Grossman, and
My
this
name's
is-
Kevin Grossman.
I'm a boring white guy.
You're gonna like the beer you drink. I
I got to hang out
guarantee
with his brother, Steve
Steve is dope,
Grossman.
yeah.
Dude, he was so much fun. He's a huge wino. We went out to. I was with Porter and Lori, and we had dinner after CBC with Steve Grossman.
From Smog City.
Yeah, it was. That was a fun night.
When I did beer camp, Steve Grossman picked me up from the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Steve Grossman.
Oh, he was so much
What's
fun,
up, dude?
How do
Beer
you get
camp.
how do you get in beer camp?
I made a video that everybody had to vote on.
Butt chugged a pale ale.
On Twitch.
I made a video. It was like the video I made. I don't know if you can find it online anymore.
It's your boy Pineapple Greg over here, butt chugging a fucking pale ale.
Hi, I'm Greg Nagel. I want to go to beer camp. Butt chugging a torpedo. They don't call it torpedo for nothing. Vote for me. Beer camp.
Did you go with who'd you go, Aaron?
Sean Laidlaw.
Sean Laid. That's right.
And that was his foray. He went to Mission Brewing in San Diego, was his first brewing job, and then he got hired at Figaro Mountain, and he worked there for 2 years. Now he's at fucking Windsor.
Wasn't he at Belching Beaver for a while?
Yeah,
too?
Belching Beaver as well.
Yeah.
And then now he's at fucking Russian River,
Oh, cool.
brewing out their big
Didn't
ass
we,
fuck
didn't
off
we
system.
interview him at Belgian
Yeah.
Beaver?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Sean Laidlaw.
So this beer held
Friend
up
of the
great.
show.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing this.
Oh, no problem.
Honestly,
Really
a rarity, which is a cellar beer, which is actually like, wow, this is holding up good.
Now, do you put your cellar beers in a closet? Just
Oh yeah, it went through
Okay.
2 moves and 3 closets.
curious.
So
Greg's
I
like,
literally
okay.
my closet's not far from this one. Sliding doors, in the office.
There's nothing wrong with, as long as I think temperature stability is more important than keeping it
Yeah.
cool. Like if
It's
it
pretty
keeps it
stable in
warm,
here.
yeah.
Like I'd say it's between 60 and 65 usually, even when it's hot. So I'm good. So we're opening Life and Limb 2.
oh dope.
John with that efficient air conditioner over there.
No, this
I mean,
room just
Moval.
doesn't see the sun.
You got like that,
Yeah.
the 14 or whatever. One of those
Mike.
efficient.
Oh dear.
That's not
Oh
good.
shit! Yep. Just stand there.
Look at that.
You got to let me open the
See,
shit.
that's the sign of a seasoned beer geek. When the cork just comes out and you're ready for a...
Ready for the gusher.
Okay, please don't be overcarbonated. Okay, we're good.
Oh, looks good.
All right,
we're
cool.
good.
Not infected.
Wait, pass it this way.
So anything bottled at Sierra Nevada in the past, anything that's corked or whatever, they have a special bottling line just for it. It doesn't come off their main line.
What was that Russian River and Sierra Nevada collab with the Brett?
Brux.
Brooks. I wonder how that's tasting.
It wasn't
no
good
idea.
originally.
Was that on my... I wonder if I still have a bottle of that.
Just domesticated.
I'm gonna put this one
Wild
in the
beer.
lambic basket.
Oh, there you go.
Fuck yeah. God damn it.
Jason's going to be like, oh my God, this beer is so good. And we're going to be like, why is it so terrible?
Greg's
Well, it's
like,
because I poured it out of the lambic basket.
We need the
All
lambic.
right.
We need lambic basket music.
Lambic basket, lambic basket. Would this be like? Dun, 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 dun.
I was thinking old dating game music for some reason.
The Spanish Flea. Real Tijuana brass over there, buddy.
Yep.
It smells more. I don't know. I'll let everyone else.
It's a little bit of a black licorice on the nose. On
Yeah, it
this.
smells a little more like oxidized than the other
Yeah.
one.
what are we calling the basket?
It's a lambic basket.
Lambic basket.
We don't have a name for it, though.
Jim.
Jeff. Matt Becker.
Jeff.
Giselle.
Kevin.
Matt Becker.
Oh.
This is Matt Becker, the lambic basket.
Matt Wicker. Matt
We
Wick-
should use our merit patch skills and make more lambic baskets.
Let's do it. That seems kind of complicated. Like, I just made round.
I made like a cup holder.
Really? Yeah, that's pretty much what I made. Whatever the kit was at camp.
This is tasting pretty good, actually. Not
Yep,
super
I'm a fan,
oxidized.
too.
Yeah.
A lot more toffee, a lot more mouthfeel
yeah.
to it.
A little sweeter.
Yeah,
I like it.
Toffee.
Again, for like, and I think this was a year after this one, so it's still like close to 10 years.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
that Heath
you know.
Bar thing happening.
Yeah.
8-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Heath
This
Bar.
was
Good call.
2012.
8-year-olds, dude.
So I think these were separated by at least a couple years.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I swear the
remember.
first one came out in 2009.
Check the lambic
I swear
basket.
it did. So
I'm reading the label in the basket.
Does Sierra Nevada still do these this style 22-ounce bottle?
I don't think so.
No.
They used to do their fresh hop. What's their fresh hop
Oh
beer?
yeah, and they did the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was the Southern Hemisphere bottle. Too.
Yeah, that's right.
And they don't do that.
No,
anymore.
those
They had
were in those-
torpedo and pale ale in these bottles.
No, those were in those stubby 22s. They were like a weird format.
Yeah, this
bottle.
one.
Southern
Yeah,
Hemisphere.
this
one.
one's the one.
Southern
Was it this?
Hemisphere was
Yeah, it
in
was that beer.
I've seen
that
torpedo.
bottle.
in
Okay,
this.
yeah, actually it is.
I don't know. Do they still? I don't know.
But the cork and cage thing they do out of
I think
the,
Southern Hemisphere is in cans now.
I feel
actually.
like this.
No way.
I don't know. I think.
Huh.
I feel like this kind of beer was really a trend for a while and has kind of gone away. Like the Dogfish Head beer, where there's just like a story behind it, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting and it tastes pretty good, and like, but like they're just kind of a weird, unique thing. And I don't know that there's as many of those anymore. You know, like. Just like we're like, we have a story, and the story is really more important than the beer, and that's kind of the thing. And like, you don't see as many of those these days. I think the market's kind of been like, all right, we get
I
it.
just think there's no story anymore. There's like no.
They've done it before.
Like,
yeah.
It's like if a brewery collabs with another brewery, it's like, I mean, look at Monkish and like Other Half. You're just excited because those two breweries collabed, but they told you nothing about a story about the beer.
Now, if Sierra
you just know
Nevada
they brewed
were to
beer
collab
together.
with like Henry and Nguyen, I think that would be a fucking get. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or
Didn't they with that one thing?
Wow.
The mix pack thing they did?
the beer camp across America thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't
those
think they
are-
were with them. Were they with Monkish? I know Smog City
Yeah,
was part of that. That was like right after I left.
There was no Walesy
Yeah.
beer in that whole pack, though. It was kind of nondescript.
Well, they had Walesy brands. They just didn't
Yeah.
have good beer. They're like, we're going to take the best IPA producer in the country, and we're going to make an apple fucking wit.
a Scotch ale.
Yeah, just like, cool, thanks.
Well, I think Sierra Nevada to a degree suffers from their distribution model. It's really hard to push out fresh beer.
I feel like they struggle with it more than any other
Anybody.
brand. Like their beer,
Yeah.
they'll be like right now hyping a beer that we won't see till February.
Yeah,
Resilience.
Resilience. We won't
Although
see
that-
till Feb. Probably.
They apparently were pushing that as like a brewery only thing.
No, it's
it's
up for
going
distro.
distro.
Well,
Because
something
I-
about the collab beers, they were meant to be like sold on a certain day on premise. I was looking into it because I was like, maybe we can try
I
to
bet it's on
chase
tap.
down
Oh, the
brewery.
collab beers are tiered releases, definitely. Yeah.
like all the like other brewery resilience beers. Their whole thing was like it's on sale like a day, like 2 days ago, and like that was the day that you could buy it. or
No,
something.
no.
There's some weird shit like that.
Like I talked to Robert French. He was down here. He lives in Sacramento, and I hit him up because I wanted to do like a YouTube video with Sierra Nevada's Resilience and every other brewery that I can get local in SoCal. And I found out you could change the recipe. And like,
Yeah,
I think
a lot of breweries did, and then there's like a lot of brewers shit talking like, "Oh, how come yours is so pale? Where's the crystal malt?"
Fieldwork made a hazy version, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, come on, like I get it. Like, can you just like make the recipe and just release it?
Yeah.
It's for a good cause. But knowing that you could tweak it, and I
Mo
didn't know that.
tweaka?
I didn't
Mo
know that at
tweak-
the
Mo
time.
tweak it?
But I said, hey, Robert, if you can get this, like you're closer to Sierra Nevada than I am. It came out. I think it came out to no. It came out
21st.
yesterday or the day before, and he left the day before. So he's like,
Ah,
I can't get it.
Shame.
So it would have been cool to get, but we're not going to see it here until January.
Could have pulled a media card. Probably got it. I'm with the full pint. Please give me it.
Yeah, maybe. But still, I'm just saying, like a beer like that, it's supposed to be enjoyed fresh. You should get it fresh. In
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada, it's
But they have
extremely annoying that you can't just get beer that's
Well-
less than a month old.
Well, the other thing is they bottle condition everything, so everything sits in their warehouse for like
Not-
2-3 weeks before it even goes out to distribution.
Not everything. Just pale ale is bottle conditioned.
I think a lot. I think more than you think just sits bottle conditioned in their warehouse.
Torpedo's not. A lot of the bigger things aren't. Just
Greg would know. He went to beer camp.
Pale ale. They can condition.
I went on their
So I've been-
sustainability tour.
I've
and
been
that was really
trying
nice.
to find a 6-pack of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale in cans. I can't find
Can't
it for the
find it.
life of me.
Yeah, no, I've only seen it in the 12s.
I've only
the
seen
cans.
12s.
Yeah.
Grocery stores, I can usually find it.
Really, Sixer?
Yep.
Yeah, I find the 12s everywhere, but then when I find the 12 packs, I'm like,
I just
This
want to
has
buy a
been
keg
here
of that for
for
my
a while.
kegerator at home, dude.
Select
I
Beer
don't-
Store had a fresh keg of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and it was mind blowing. I had it
don't
like
like-
3 weeks ago, and I was like, "What is this? This
So
is
good.
amazing!"
Yeah, it's such a good beer.
I've never had the emotional connection to that beer that everyone
Really?
has.
I love
Yeah, I've like it's not even like it's not even my like I don't like I like it fine, I guess, like, but I don't prefer it. It's
The first
not-
time I had it, I think it's the first hoppy beer that I had.
Yeah.
where I was like, "Fuck, wow, this is like, what is that flavor?" Like,
There's this random
Crazy.
I'm with
dive
Jason.
bar in Long Beach called the Thirsty Owl, and they have a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale handle. So in like my early 20s, and it was like, it still is like the freshest Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I've never had Sierra Nevada Pale Ale like I have at this awful.
Go up to Chico and it's
Dive
fucking
bar.
like shit. You know, like
Yeah.
$5 a pitcher.
Friend of the show, Dr. Zach, was went to college up there, and he always talks about going to the bars in there and just drinking tons of it for dirt cheap because it's a Sierra Nevada town.
Yeah, they had like
$1
Thirsty
pint night.
Thursdays, and I think it was like $8 for like a 32-ounce pitcher of it, and you don't even get a glass; you just drink out of the pitcher.
All right, what else is on deck?
So,
Oh, boy.
just to wrap this up, the Life and Limbs held up extremely well.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really,
honestly,
really
whenever
fun
we do
beers.
aged beer, I fucking brace myself. Like, oh god,
Wait
damn
for the
it.
cardboard.
Yeah,
I
And these are pretty good.
think I have at least a couple bottles of.
And I
each
was
of
like
these.
sat in my glass a little bit, and I just had another sip. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, normally it's like, do I like this
Yeah.
beer? Not at all. Get it?
Against all odds, it's
Get it? Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah,
no, I
it's
don't.
Very
Chris maybe gets
unexpected.
being
Not at all.
being a Dogfish Head weirdness beer of 10 years old. It's made with like artisanal goat's piss.
What?
We climbed up Mount Everest and had all the Sherpas give us their finest goat's piss.
After a bull racked him to the side from the malt.
We found out that we could get the same pH of goat's piss by just squeezing a paper towel in our armpits. So that's what we're doing on this episode of Dogfish Head. Traditional goat's piss ale.
Up next, it's a 17.5% ABV. Fourth show.
Ever beer.
ABV beer that was released the year I graduated high school in 1997. This is Samuel Adams Boston Beer Company's Triple Bock.
Triple
And
Bock.
Chris is he
Sounds
just
still.
uncorked it.
Dude,
Yeah,
that cork. Oh, I gotta smell that cork, dude. It is
Looks
dark.
like a mushroom.
Looks like somebody butt chugged it. Oh my god.
That is
Looks
a
like a fucking
charred
character.
If you eat it, you'll
like
gain
Toad
extra
on
lives.
fucking Mario Kart.
It's like Evil Toad.
I think this beer was even
Wow.
bottled still. Oh, look at the
it
there's
smells like
s-
plant.
There's like sediment
Matter.
on
Oh, there's
like
smells like
stuff
dirt.
stuck
there's like
to
a,
the glass.
a ring of
So when I first started getting into
grossness.
beer, I used to
I
just
wanna
go
lick
to
it.
Bevmo and buy whatever was weird and interesting. And I remember getting one of these, which so it's already weird timeline wise because when did they stop making this beer?
97.
No, okay, no. This shows Untapped shows 2004 and 11 vintages.
Oh, really?
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Because I bought
I have
it.
no idea how old this is.
I started into beer like around 2007 or 8. So anyhow,
But also for 97, it says there have only been 3 vintages produced, 94, 95, and 97. 94, 95 vintages are marked as such in the bottle. 97 is not. I don't know.
Oh, so yeah. So
It could have been they had it in those years and marked it as that vintage on Untapped, and that's just incorrect. That's totally common on Untapped.
yeah, I don't really trust the dating.
I remember seeing
You should
the-
trust the data because
Oh no, the dating on Untapped
Oh,
for
oh.
some of this. Some of the
I mean,
stuff.
you can't date people on Untapped, but that would be an amazing feature. That
as a moderator
Swipe
on
left on
Untapped,
Beer
like
Geeks.
there's people that like they go out of their way to like fix things, but this could be one of those things that's like a weird
Well,
oversight.
I
'cause
somehow bought one at a Bevmo.
how do you know the history?
Which
exactly?
is weird because it would have sat there for 10 years.
So like I said, this is.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
true.
bought this
don't
on
know.
a shelf 2 weeks ago at a liquor store.
What?
Yep.
I thought you had this.
No, so
We've been bamboozled.
no. So so here. So
Oh my
this
God,
is this is
such-
how
it's a
long this has been
leggy-
sitting on the shelf.
the legs on this.
I still so the bottle. This bottle is when I bought like 6 or 7 years ago. When my friends first moved out to Bakersfield, we went to this liquor store and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I bought like 4 bottles and it sat in my cellar. And then 2 weeks ago, I went to that same liquor store and I was like, "Holy shit, it's still on the shelf." And I bought a couple more.
oh my god.
We so it was one of the early on in my craft beer journey I tried, and I was like, "Oh, that's terrible! How could
smell like
anyone
bug
drink
spray.
that?" And I thought the blue bottle was cool, and then I was like, "This is straight garbage."
Raid.
So I'm curious now that I have less of a baby palate that we'll see how I like it.
I don't get bug spray at all.
I do actually. Whoa, it's boozy too.
Yeah.
Holy
The
shit.
legs on it, like just swirling it around.
It's like it's very
got-
chocolatey and like kind of like cherry. It's like almost like a little tart or something.
It's like they. You always talk about
What is
beers
the
turning the
alcohol in
corner
that?
from cardboard to sherry, and this is full sherry.
Yeah, it's like fish sauce though.
Yeah. I mean, on the flavor, there's
That's
a lot of
good-
sherry.
Fish
notes.
sauce is a very good pull on the nose.
Super umami cherry. It's
Flat.
such a strong flavor.
Yeah.
Whoa. Fuck.
Such a strong flavor.
Thank God it's in a 10-ounce bottle
Holy
or whatever
shit.
that is.
The flavor just explodes in your mouth,
And it's still like lingering. Like it's still like
it won't go away.
yeah.
I'm chewing
I
on it.
kind of like it. It's like a
I
it's
want
like
a cigar to go with it.
it's like a hot cherry, a hot dark cherry. Like I don't get the sherry. Well, maybe this is pure sherry, but I don't get like the typical paper sherry stuff you get. It smells weird. I don't get the bug spray thing.
Oh, look at the bottle. There's still so much like
Sediment and shit.
sediment just coated on the outside of the
That
bottle.
is fucking weird.
So like
what are
really
we
old
drinking?
wine gets like that.
Yep.
Like you get like the sediment.
Lees, yeah. It's got lees to it, people.
This tastes like the aftermath of Greg butt chugging.
That's pretty delicious. It has an earthiness to it like no other beer I've had.
Yeah.
This has like
It's like umami.
Super,
Yeah.
like I want to push, like dip my sushi in it.
Oh, there you go.
So it's soy sauce.
It's not soy sauce. No.
It's like chocolate.
That is every review on Untapped is just like 1 star soy sauce.
No, it's not soy sauce. I don't get. Well, at least for me, I don't get.
It has
soy
a lot of
sauce.
umami notes to it.
Yeah.
It's
without
I
being
would
soy
say
sauce.
umami. For me, it's like
so hot.
it's
though.
dark cherries, chocolate.
It's
Honestly, for me,
it left like a
being-
Stonehenge on my glass. Like the legs, like I normally like people making a big deal about like legs, but this beer is like insane with it.
the
but here's the
legs
thing, this is-
they just creep.
Does it drink like 18%?
Worse.
But
I don't think it's that boozy. Like I would think it'd be more like
so this
rocket
is
fuel.
21 years old. It's
yeah.
pretty fucking good.
This beer
for
is pretty
21
drinkable.
This beer
years
is old enough to drink itself.
Am I right?
That's how I like to drink my beer.
My nephew just turned 21. I'm bummed he's not here to drink this. This is born the same year he was.
I don't care for it.
The more
Yeah, I
I get,
don't really
I
care
can see
about
the
it.
soy sauce character, and it's got like this weird bitterness that it's really harsh. It's not good, but
It comes in
Little
really
acrid.
sweet and then like bitter and hot and fuck it. It tastes like it's meant to be on something. It really does taste like a
It's a condiment, yeah.
it also
it's a
tastes
condiment beer.
it tastes burnt.
Yeah.
Like
Burnt sugar is definitely
yeah.
what I would say.
but not. But still, in context, for 20, if this
21
was,
years?
if you brewed this beer and said, "How do you like this beer I just brewed?" I'd be like, this is horrible." But
Right.
for 21 years old, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I've had 2
It's still
sips.
beery. Like you're like, this is clearly beer.
I mean, what is
Yeah.
the black shit on the inside?
I don't know.
What the
flavor?
fuck?
Like
flavor.
lean-
That's what that is.
I want to take
flavor
a cotton
bits.
swab and just swab it out and see what.
Snort it.
I've had 2 sips of this, and my teeth feel like I haven't brushed my teeth in a week. Like I have like
You have sweaters growing on your teeth. We just call that sweaters on your teeth.
yeah, it's total like this thing coats my mouth. It's fucked up.
it tastes like a 21-year-old beer.
It would be good like on a Philly roll or something.
That's what I'm saying.
So I asked the guy from the owner of the liquor or whoever was working behind the counter. I'm like, when did you guys get this beer? He goes, oh, super fresh. We got it like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, I was like,
You're a liar.
yeah. I was like, I literally told him, I was like, the last time they brewed this beer was 1997. He goes, impossible. He goes, I just got this. And I was like, I was here 6 years ago and I bought this bottle. He goes, it's a fresh case. I'm like,
well, you got it fresh.
so I don't know if
That's
it's been
funny.
sitting on a shelf for 20 years or like,
Just sitting in Bakersfield, some
it
warehouse.
was in a cooler. It was in a walk-in. It was a reach-in. So I think it's
Oh,
been
shit.
refrigerated. So
I'm not hugely offended by it, but it's not great.
It's not bad.
I've had worse beers.
It's not, but yeah, it's not awful.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mobile.
Yeah. I don't know.
For being, like I said, for 21 years old in context, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
A lot of like,
Gotta be fair to this
Yeah.
beer.
Do we have any hoppy beer? I mean, we only had
Should we
Your
do that?
IPA.
Let's drink that Citra.
Let's do it.
The Citra.
Dude,
All
we
right.
need to palate
Sounds
cleanse.
good.
We need a proper rinse too.
Yeah, right.
Let's take a
dude.
2-minute break and rinse.
Yeah, I get a pee.
Sounds good. He sounds good.
Or we can end with resilience
I had to go
from Chapman.
I had to go home and watch Spider-Man.
Now
See,
this
they put
makes
a
more
gold
sense.
medal on theirs. That's what you do.
Well, that's okay though.
Yeah. You don't put a bronze medal. Third loser.
Oh God, I would like to try that beer with sushi though. That would probably be good.
That was fun. I was at a.
really fun. Like those life and limbs.
Yeah, I'm stoked about those.
That was a lot better than most cellar beer shows, which is
Yeah.
just like, oh fuck, oxidized again.
And I'm glad I got to share them with you guys because it would have been just shared with some random people and it would have been like no useful discussion.
Your cousin's like, oh, can you put a lime in it?
Yeah.
Drinking cellar beer is all about context. You
have
to like know what you're talking about.
Beer has a story, you know. We believe every beer has a story. We're telling it.
Sam Caggione a lot.
I like Sam
But the
Caggione.
dude knows what he's talking about. I really like him.
He made that beer with spit in it, though.
It was boiled.
Made a beer with ram's piss.
Icelandic.
Because if you can drink ram's piss, fuck, you can drink anything.
So if you're still in the live stream, what do you think about the new chat/PowerPoint format? Because I kind of like it.
We have 7 people watching.
I know Greg likes it.
Oh, it's dope.
7 is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's like having that, like.
I saw you reference that quite a few times, actually. And like you were on the fly
can-
looking at it. Oh,
There's the info.
and you said a thing.
What I need. So normally I drink my
Yeah, don't.
Drink Z dumper. Drink
No.
Z dumper.
Don't drink that dumper.
There's like wax in there and shit.
Well, that's just flavoring.
Whoa.
You guys like the bottle watching sign? Pretty sweet, right?
Pretty fucking dope.
It's not real neon, though.
No, it's backlit with LED in it. I knew that. I told Yvonne I was picking that up. She's like, is that going to be like the St. Pauli girl sign? You watch The Office?
Yeah.
Like when Michael Scott turns it on, the whole room turns blue. Like, no.
Dude, my kid, I caught her randomly just watching The Office on her own.
Good.
She's
You're doing a good job as a parent.
I did nothing and never mentioned it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm on season 3 now." I was like, "You watching The Office?"
Dude,
Holy
I
shit.
love The Office so much.
It'd be so rad if they came out with a new season, but
Nah, would it?
Nah.
You can't go back.
Once Michael Scott left, like the other shows were fine, and then let it die.
Eddie. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Did she fart?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh God! Wow.
You can turn the fan on if you want.
Please do.
One of our dogs, the
Greg,
Daisy's dog,
Do the
Bandit,
fan.
It's a long one.
she farts, and if you go Bandit, she goes, and then literally walks out of the room going,
We sleep with that dog.
I wouldn't.
No, one more. Do one more. One more. We have no choice.
"Bandit, what did you do?"
If I don't have a dog, I have a cat that hangs out in my
She's
yard.
great to sleep with. She's a nice cuddle dog.
Nah, I don't like.
But then she occasionally farts, and
I don't cuddle when I sleep.
neither do I. But it's a dog.
Yeah, I have an arm's length relationship with a cat that hangs out in my yard. I got Mr. Boots, who turns out to be Mrs. Boots. Yeah, Mr. Boots is this cat with white feet. He's black. It's a black cat with white feet, so I called him Mr.
Mr. Boots.
But then Mr. Boots showed up with kittens one day, and we're like, I guess it's Mrs. Boots all along.
Well, maybe she identifies as Mr. Boots.
That's true.
I don't know. We don't have that close a relationship. And then there was another just scruffy black cat that we called Mr. Black, like The Simpsons. Mr. Black.
Hey, you can put the cork back in. Want to try a 21-year-old beer?
You chose wisely.
Wisely. Wise choice. Here it
It was a
is.
fun experiment, though.
No, don't try it. Just look at the cork.
Look at the bottle. There's stuff on the inside of the bottle.
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield. Yeah, look.
That bottle's 21 years old.
Oh, Betty Jean.
She
she
did
farted
again.
again.
Another one.
She has to go poop.
She farted earlier.
God damn it, Matt.
Can't wait for that.
Oh, Betty.
Ugh,
All right.
that's putrid.
Oh,
Wolf.
woof.
Now let's do some beer reviews.
Smells like dog
Essence
fart.
of
Dog fart.
where's the turn the fan on?
Yeah,
high.
it's on.
It's on. Just give it
It'll
time.
go away. You'll acclimate.
We actually didn't get this one. The first one came over here, but this one seems like it's staying on your
Yeah.
Let's
side.
have the Brute Rosé IPA if you guys want to.
Like, how long do we want to go on this one?
I would say while we're here.
Like, fuck it.
I want to drink those beers. We want to end the show and drink them, or just
You can
drink them on
spend
the
the
show?
night if you want, but
I got to go see Into the Spider-Verse.
oh yeah.
I would say just crack them. We'll power through them real
Let's
quick,
do it.
and we'll
Yeah,
be done.
it's super
Yeah,
easy.
crack-a-lackin'.
The
I want to do the Brew
Rosé's
Rosé, man.
Cool, but it's not super. I don't know, exciting.
We should have like a
you know what?
generic
If we're gonna do a
slide.
beer on the show, let's do the rosé and then
Yes.
do Citra after because
Yeah.
it's Citra. We've done it before.
Yeah.
You've been to the Kern River enough.
Let me bring it back. So this episode, Chris, was pretty fun. I think.
That's a good word for it.
No,
Yeah.
like the Life and Limb beers were awesome.
Yep.
Like the triple block from Sam Adams Boston Beer Company was interesting.
When can you say you've had a 20-year-old beer? Like, how many people can say that?
That's the oldest beer I've ever had.
That's
Yeah.
not true. We had a beer from 95.
When.
Fucking when I brought it. I brought all those Anchor Christmases.
Yeah, there's some ancient ones in there.
Oh,
The oldest beer I had was,
okay. Well, then I'm sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
I think I was like a couple years ago, like 5 years ago, and it was made in 1987.
I had a
Ooh.
beer from the 60s. It was the first barley wine ever brewed. It was American.
cool.
Yeah, I forget who made it.
I've got some pretty old Bigfoot too, still
Yeah.
kicking around, and some old Celebration Ale.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah,
really
this
fun.
is a fun show, for
but
sure.
we're
Yeah, cool.
ending on a fresh note.
Yeah, we need. This has been a heavy session, dude. I think this is one of the heaviest sessions we've ever done.
Yeah.
It
That,
really
we're all
has been.
still-
American
Yeah.
Solera, that beer to Zinfandel, like that was
That was a
That was a
highlight
good
for
beer.
sure.
Dude, I want more from that brewery, and I want to get into
so
wine
hard to
now.
get.
Yeah, well,
They
Such a great name for
They
a
made a
brewery, too.
similar beer as beer to Pickpool. It's a white wine grape, kind
Beer
of
to
similar.
pick pull.
Yeah, Pickpool. It's
Huh.
a type of white wine grape.
okay.
It's pretty good. I like the Zinfandel a little bit more.
It's got a lot more character to it.
Yeah,
More structure to
the
it.
Pickpool, you're like, oh, this is beer, and I guess there's wine, but this is wine. I guess it's beer.
Yeah, that's what that was definitely because
Cross the line.
It's wine basically.
Yeah, we had the 95, 96, and 05, our special ales, back on episode 30, Merry Ducking Christmas in 2014.
At who is taking over for John?
That's right. I'm John now. Cut me out.
Well, I stand corrected. Thank you, Jason.
I'm John now. Cut me out of the show.
So, what is this beer, Chris?
This is Rosé the Day Away. And it
Sounds
is-
very trendy and hip.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of banking on the viral media of
Millennials
rosé.
will be really into it.
Yeah. So I like the whole idea of the brewed IPA, and I was like, well, might as well put my own spin on it. So let's get a bunch of Zinfandel must and throw that in the boil. So we use the whole enzyme thing in the mash. It's like 80% Weirman Pils, 20% puff jasmine rice. Then we threw in the amylase enzyme, and then it's like 20% of the fermentables came from the Zinfandel must. And then there's a little bit of hibiscus in there too. So I've worked with the Zinfandel must before, and then like after you find, you're like, where did all the color go?
Yeah, it just
And
disappears out.
And you empty the tank, and you're like, oh, the yeast stole all the color because it's like
It fluffed out.
bright red yeast. And so it's like, well, I know
Really, it's bright red yeast.
Oh my, yeah, it's weird. It's like
Blood
pink,
yeast.
yeah. So
Yeast
I was
likes
like, well, I
grapes.
know hibiscus
Send us
stays.
a DM of a picture of the blood yeast if you make it again.
We'll do.
We will post it on our feed.
And it's so I put the hibiscus in there just to make sure that it's pink in color because I don't want to market. It's a rosé brewed IPA, but it's still yellow in color.
Yeah.
So I know hibiscus stays in solution really well, so that's why we threw in the hibiscus. And
This
it's not super hopped.
Well, you can smell the hops, but it's like really earthy, hoppy.
Smells IPA -ish.
is what I get.
I get floral.
It's IPA-ish, but
Yeah.
like it's like a flowery, earthy hop. That's
So
what I get.
here's the thing: it's El Dorado and Yukonaut.
Huh.
Yeah, huh?
I would have guessed there's sea hops in here. No.
So, and it was kind of like light in the boil, and then like a pound per barrel dry hop. I was gonna do my normal regime where I do split up the dry hop, but after the first one, I was like, there is like a strawberry component to this beer, like an unripe strawberry, that totally came from the Zinfandel, and I didn't want to dry hop the shit out of it and lose that
Cover it up,
character.
yeah.
So I just stuck with what it's at, like. I don't know, like I would describe it like as a brute pale ale, I guess, because it's not super hoppy or bitter, or I didn't even want to even
drinking.
put like pale ale behind it.
Just IPA, man.
Yeah, and so,
It drinks
but
like
I feel
an
like
IPA to me.
I feel like brute rosé IPA is like not a good descriptor of what this beer is, but
I think
It's a really interesting beer, though.
yeah, you definitely get some tannin structure from the
Yeah,
wine.
I
and-
expect it to be sweeter when I'm looking at it, and then I drink it, and it's just coming really dry. You get a little bit of the tannic flavor, and it's a surprising flavor, but I'm super enjoying it.
I love
Yeah.
the CO2 in it too. Super effervescent, very spritzy, sort of like hop champagne.
The bubbles look pretty small to me. I don't know if
I know my palte's a little blown out too from all this.
What palate? I'm just butt chugging. On the butt chug.
So
On the butt chug fart.
yeah, pours a nice pink color. Like, I don't know. It's gonna
got a real retro anal.
Retro anal. Oh my god.
is retro anal just through your mouth?
It's when you breathe really deep. You gotta fart while you breathe.
The retro anal gets a bit of roastiness.
Retro anal.
On the retro anal. Getting a little hint of the rosé.
And then I think some of the pizza from earlier as
It's like a little brose. So good.
Kind of a good beer. Super
Yeah,
mellow.
delicious, man.
Easy drinking.
Good stuff.
So
Well, Chris, thanks for coming down, hanging out with us.
no problem. Anytime.
Did you have fun?
I had a blast. This is fantastic.
Awesome.
Hopefully I did a good job and
You were great.
You're hired.
hired. All right. Sold.
You're the fourth brewer now.
Really? Can
this is the
can I
casting
come
couch.
down?
We don't pay anything.
That's fine.
Unless we get more Patreon money, then maybe we'll
We'll all quit our jobs.
we'll pay you for gas.
Well,
All right.
If we're getting roughly, $400,000 a year, we can just go ahead and do this.
That's why
full-time.
we do the podcast, is to make money.
Yeah,
It's like becoming a brewer. You do it for the money.
that's right. Beer and podcast.
Is this a comedy podcast?
Beer and podcast. Two money industries.
Cash cow.
Two ripe marketplaces with no competition, where everyone's getting rich.
Because I love paying for
literally-
podcasts.
Beer and podcast.
Literally butt chugging money.
So, where can we find Trustworthy online, Chris?
All the usual, the Instagram, the Facebook, the website. So trustworthybrewingco.com, Trustworthy Brewing Co. on Instagram and Facebook. And I think Twitter as well.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me. I had an absolute blast. This is fan-fucking-tastic.
Awesome. If you want to find Four Brewers online, you can go to fourbrewers.com, and we have links to all of our social networks and other fun stuff. You can go to supporttheshitoutofit.com to give us your money. You can go to @4brewersshow on Twitter if you want to harass us on Twitter.
What if I'd like to butt chug some of our video content?
Go to twitch.tv/OCbeer to check that awesome content.
Live stream
I'll
24/7.
get that on that tonight.
And if you want to actually watch Greg play video games and drink
Still
beer,
dialing
go to
in that whole Twitch thing.
twitch.tv/
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
OCbeer because he's building awesome, super cool gaming PCs. Again, Four Brewers on Instagram is @4brewers. On Twitch, we are twitch.tv/4brewers. Only leave positive reviews on iTunes with 5 stars. And I'm joking when I say that if you legitimately have something bad to say.
You got a gripe, don't at me.
Yeah. Well, if you do have a gripe, at me. Just don't put it on iTunes.
Or just email 4 Brewers.
Yeah, just email 4Brewers at feedback
Just let us know.
at 4brewers.com and brew the shit out of it.
Whoop, whoop.
Give us
Dear
a call at 1-800.
Dear
Butt-chug.
Four Brewers bastards, I'll have you know that Northwest IPA has the leading amount of caramel malts in all the country.
It's not pronounced brut. It's pronounced brute.
These guys, it's not Genesi. It's not Genesi. Genesi. Genesi.